Is it just me? Or is this CGI Pikachu kinda creepy? Let's be real, this Pokemon Presents was kinda underwhelming, but thankfully the ending was saved by the announcement of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's DLC, The Treasures of Area Zero. And just like with the Sword and Shield expansion, we're getting two parts, with the first being called the Teal Mask and the second known as the Indigo Disk. You might have noticed the names of these expansions both include colors, just like Scarlet and Violet were named after colors. And that made me realize how back in Sword and Shield, the DLCs were named after medieval things. Armor, crown, sword, and shield. I like that. Anyway, the Scarlet and Violet DLCs are available to pre-order on the eShop right now for $34.99 USD, which is $5 more expensive than the Sword and Shield DLC was. We don't have an exact release date yet, but the pre-order bonuses might just give us a hint. As an early purchase bonus, you can get a special Hisuian Zoroark. And if we take a look at the fine print, you'll notice that you must redeem it before October 31st, which means the DLC is likely coming out right after Halloween, because this is an early purchase bonus. The second DLC just says Winter 2023, and technically the winter season starts on December 21st, so if I had to guess, it'll probably come out sometime within those 10 days before the year is over. Also, if you pre-order, you can unlock these new outfits in Scarlet and Violet right now! Aren't they cool? Aside from new Pokemon and stories though, the DLCs bring with them over 230 familiar Pokemon that did not appear in Paldea, some of which you can see on screen right now. So let's dive further into each of these expansions. As much as my brain kept thinking China during the reaction, the theme of this first DLC is very much based on a Japanese festival. In the trailer, it's mentioned that we'll be visiting the land of Kitakami as part of a school trip, so we're definitely going to a different region, but I'm not sure if Kitakami is the actual name of it or just part of a larger region. Regardless, this is where our first DLC will take place, and honestly, we don't get to see too much of it aside from this festival theme. We do get to know a bit about the story though, as the website says this DLC will focus on unraveling the mysteries behind this area's folktales. And these new Pokemon revealed pretty much tell us exactly what folktale this is. The story of Momotaro, a boy born inside a peach who travels alongside a talking dog, monkey, and pheasant to fight a band of Oni, which is the Japanese term for ogres. And would you look at that? The new legendary or mythical Pokemon here has ogre in its name. And considering the other three are literally based on a dog, monkey, and pheasant, the story of Momotaro is clearly the inspiration for this DLC. First up, we have Okidogi, which kinda looks like a Zarude that had a couple too many puffins, or maybe it's a fusion of Incineroar and Rillaboom. Either way, it's kinda chonky and looks like it might be a grass or fighting type to me. The name Okidogi comes from the phrase Okidoki, meaning everything is fine, everything's okay, or Daijobu, if you will. Next, we have Munkidori, whose name similarly comes from the phrase hunky-dory, also meaning things are fine or going well. This seems to be the least popular of the three, with many fans criticizing it not really looking like a Pokemon, or just downright being kinda ugly. It's definitely harder to guess a type for it though, but just based on the coloring, I'd have to say water, because our last Pokemon might just be a fire type. This has led some people to believe we might have a new starter trio to choose from during this field trip. But at least in the tale of Momotaro, all three animal companions traveled with the boy, so I'd say it's more likely we'll be able to befriend all three of these Pokemon as well. The name Fezandipiti comes from the animal it's based on, plus the word serendipity, which refers to events unfolding in a happy or favorable way. So it seems the connecting theme of these three is good luck. So hopefully these three Pokemon turn out to be friendly. I wouldn't want to start a fight with Okidogi. You might have noticed they all wear these pink bands, but I'm not really sure what the inspiration is, so if anyone out there is more familiar with Japanese references, let me know in the comments below. Are we sure these aren't actually inspired by Kung Fu Panda though? Of course, there's one more new Pokemon revealed for this first part of the DLC, and that is Ogerpon, a new mythical Pokemon? Perhaps they're all mythical / legendary, we still don't know, but Ogerpon is of course based on an Oni, or Japanese ogre, wearing a little festival mask to scare off its enemies. But underneath this fearsome face seems to hide something a lot less scary, and perhaps even cute? The mask itself seems to have some ties to terastallizing, with the crystal scene decorating it, but overall this Pokemon definitely looks like a grass type. We have these little leaves on its feet, and on the official art for the DLC, we can see branches and vines coming out from behind it. Which probably means this dude wouldn't also be grass type, so maybe none of these are the types I guessed previously. If I had to give my prediction, I guess I'll go with another type triangle: Fighting, Dark, and Psychic. Let me know what types you think they might be though down in the comments below. Moving on to part 2, the Indigo Disk. In this DLC, we'll be studying as an exchange student at Blueberry Academy. Amazing name, by the way. This unusual school is located under the ocean, which definitely makes me think of all those theories about Atlantis DLC. Maybe this is what they were referring to all along, but at this school, the curriculum emphasizes on Pokemon battling, and we can see that in this sick official artwork we received. We've got the 3 fully evolved Paldean starters backing our characters, finally wearing new outfits. I guess I forgot to mention, but in the Festival DLC, we're also gonna get to dress differently, and I could not be more happy. Finally, we can get out of those stupid uniforms. The 4 characters seen at the top right here seem to have different themes, with this first guy looking a bit sporty with the karate outfit and an Arcanine on his sleeve. The girl next to him definitely looks more intellectual with the glasses and kinda gives off a class president vibe to me. This dude underneath is holding a pan and wearing a chef jacket, so obviously the culinary type, and honestly I have no idea about the last girl's theme, but I'm thinking together they might be like the top students at Blueberry Academy. But there's 2 more characters in this poster standing front and center as if they're actually the main characters. And they're not just in the second half of the DLC, because these 2 very same characters appear on the promo for the first part as well. Just based on their designs, it's hard to guess what their role might be, but considering they appear in both DLCs, I'm thinking they might be similar to Clara and Avery from the Sword and Shield expansion. Now, just because the story of this second part will be a foreign exchange program doesn't mean the whole DLC will take place in this new school. In fact, we get to see a map of the wider area we might get to explore. Could this be the fabled South Kalos? I wouldn't hold my breath on it, but among the different biomes, we can see snowy peaks in the north, and the area between Kalos and Paldea in real life includes the Pyrenees Mountains, so maybe there's still hope? We can also see Mamoswine and Geodude silhouettes here, which we didn't see earlier, so that's 2 more Pokemon confirmed that didn't appear in Scarlet and Violet. Finally, let's talk about Terapagos, the disc Pokemon finally revealed. Obviously, its name comes from Terra, or terastallize, and Galapagos, which is a group of islands west of Ecuador known for their turtles. By far, this is my favorite Pokemon revealed today. I love its cute little face and the colorful shell on its back where we can clearly see all the Pokemon type symbols. We know the disc Pokemon from the Scarlet and Violet book is responsible for creating the terrestrial phenomenon, which lets any Pokemon change into any type, so does that mean this turtle can also change into any type? It could be similar to Arceus in Pokemon Legends, which can of course become any type by holding its corresponding plate, but instead this turtle's type might depend on something other than its held item. It might even work similarly to the Protean ability, at least before it got nerfed in this generation. Could be that this turtle changes type depending on the move you choose. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and theories on this, but let's wrap it up with my own theory about Terapagos' role in this DLC. I'm sure you're all familiar by now with the theory of this Pokemon being based on the World Turtle, and if that's still the case, it's hard to imagine how gigantic it would have to be. Well, what if this whole Blueberry Academy we see floating at sea is actually sitting on the back of Terapagos? I mean, thinking about it, a Pokemon that huge would make no sense in battle unless it can change size at will or something, but still, how cool would that be? This giant freaking turtle carrying a whole academy on its back sounds badass. Now that does it for all the news regarding Scarlet and Violet we got today, so make sure to hit that like button if you guys enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't already for more Pokemon videos. Yep, I'm definitely not forgetting anything, right? Oh yeah! Turns out Paradox, Suicune, and Virizion have absolutely nothing to do with the DLC, and you can battle them in Scarlet and Violet right now. Have fun!